Video 2. This one is about boredom. Yeah, boredom. So I watched a video on boredom a while ago. And for some reason, that week, it kept coming up as a recurring topic. And I had a conversation with somebody. And they shared with me some recurring habits that they have when they're bored. And it made me laugh because one of my favorite quotes of all time is a lot of problems arise from man's inability to sit in a room by themselves. Basically, a lot of men's problems arise from their inability to just sit with themselves in silence. And I can certainly speak to that, right? Some of my mushroom trips years ago were because I was fucking bored. And I was scared because I didn't want to leave the house. So then it's just fuck it. Just plan a mushroom trip and trip balls, right? And some people, it's drinking. Some people, it might be changing your hair. And, now, recently, in the last, year, I've just thought about, is it really possible? And is it really possible to be bored? And from my perspective, I thought about it and I said no. But also, I can have a pretty hyperactive brain. And because of that, through my lens, I say that no, it's not possible for human beings to be bored because there's so many things that you can do, right? And, even people, I think sometimes we as humans, we fight rest. That is something that we tend to fight is rest. And I can certainly speak to that, because, our current society doesn't really speak much about rest, to be honest. Or I don't find content that, or I don't really get in a conversation with people that, ever really bring up rest as a topic, right? And, me thinking about boredom and the fact that in my life right now, there's so many things that I love to do, that I get into, and surfing being one of them now, or even just straight up sleeping, just resting. And to me, resting isn't boredom, it's resting. And then when I'm working, and when I'm working on a video, I'm working on a video, or I'm making a video. And so there's so many ways that human beings can curve the thought of boredom, in my opinion. And I think we sometimes think when we're resting, it's boredom. And that makes us restless in the boredom instead of accepting that you do not have to get up and go and do something right now, right away. You can just sit and just be, and honestly, let the world run without you. That is okay to just let the world run without you. Because when you decide to get back up and hop into that wheel, you're right back in the cog. Right? And nobody goes against the flow. When you think you're going against the flow, you're still in the flow. That's just life. People are going east, west, south, southwest, southeast, northeast, northwest. We're all in the flow of life, and the path is all the same. People who do nothing are still going forward. People who are going forward are still just in the flow. And so I don't really know if it's possible to be bored, honestly. I think boredom arises whether it's because curiosity stops. That can cause the feeling of boredom, and maybe not wanting to do. I don't even know if I should say the word lazy, because that can sound very not constructive to say lazy, but uninterested. Uninterested is the word. When people are uninterested is when the feelings of boredom can arise. But the minute there's interest in something or a connection with something, an activity, people, that immediately lets go of the feelings of boredom go away, you know? And so I just wanted to talk about the boredom part because I thought about it and I was thinking to myself, is it really possible to be bored? And I don't think so. I really don't think it's possible to be bored. I think it can be monotonous doesn't mean boring. It's just mundane, monotonous work. Sometimes, I went through a period of that with the vlogs where I think there are times where I feel that now where it's just repetitive and I'm actively working to find ways to spice up the vlog, not in the sense of doing crazy stuff, but I don't know if I'm opening myself up to admitting that all these vlogs that have already been pre-recorded from years, I don't know if there's a way at the moment for me to tell the story to make it better or faster sometimes, but I still have to tell these mini stories until, I start recording vlogs now with the camera that I have where I'm able to plan a little bit more and do better. But I can continuously just work on maybe getting the coloring of the vlogs better, understanding Final Cut better. But these are things that are they're a little tedious sometimes, but it's not boring. It's just tedious work that has to be learned, that has to be done. And that can feel boring, but it's not boring to me, right? But somebody might think of that as boring work, which per se could be understandable. But yeah, I'm not sure boredom is a thing, because boredom means you're just uninterested. It doesn't mean you're bored to me. So rest until, you have a thought or you have an urge. The urge becomes a thought. The thought becomes an action. And you go from there. Namaste.